Hi, PWC. I'm Charissa.
And I'm Neil.
My husband, my better half.
That's not true.
So we were talking tonight at dinner about what we were going to talk with you about regarding peace. And we were trying to brainstorm ideas. And it was not very peaceful in our house.
No. Kids running after the dog, wrestling with each other, screaming. So yeah, just imagine the Huenefeld home about 2 or 3 hours ago. We weren't doing so well. We needed to call a chaplain, call a lifeline.
Yeah, it ended with one kid being sent to his room in tears. Yeah. And yes, so we're here to talk with you about peace. And we understand, we are right there with you, that peace can be something that's hard to come by right now. And peaceful is probably not the first word that you would use when you're describing your home or your heart or the situation that you find yourself in right now. Many of you have little kids like us who are running all around the house all day long and they need you moms so much. Or you might have bigger kids who are working hard to navigate that home learning and just the addition of all those extra bodies in the house. And we have 4 of them. But all those extra bodies in the house, even if they're really well behaved, it just adds a level of noise and chaos. Or you might find yourself that you have no extra people in your house, but you might still find yourself a lot of extra noise in your own heart and in your mind as you worry about yourself and your spouse, the situation you find yourself in, or your family situation back home. So we've had many times in our life together when we were in a situation where we really needed God's peace. One of those times was during our last pregnancy. We had gone in for the 20-week ultrasound, and a couple weeks later I was helping with VBS, just normal life, and I got the call that they needed to do another one. And so I thought, oh, no big deal. We went in, we did the follow-up ultrasound, just double check everything. And then they gave us a call back and told us that they were worried that Bree wasn't growing right. Something was wrong. And that was concerning news, but I remember just feeling completely at peace, just knowing in my heart that she was going to be fine. And that was a supernatural peace from God that carried me through that time of waiting. And each and every one of those appointments, every week I would drive the 2 hours to Kansas City every single week for another ultrasound and another stress test. And every week we would get that confirmation, once again, that we would be adding a girl to our brood of boys. We had 3 boys at the time, and we thought Huenefelds don't have girls. So every week I got that confirmation that, yes, we were going to have a girl. And then the call came a day after one of those weekly ultrasounds that they needed us to come that day to deliver Bree a couple of weeks early. They said they were concerned that she wasn't thriving. There was something really wrong. And that was an emotionally exhausting, tear-filled 2-hour drive to Kansas City. But God's peace and his presence were still there. And I remember by the time we got there, I could just sense God's peace again, and just knowing that we could trust him, that whatever was happening, he was in control. So hours later, she was born, and she was completely healthy. Not a thing was wrong with her. In fact, she was even 1 pound heavier than she had measured in the ultrasound just one day before. So we were able to go home with her the very next day. And the doctors may have been surprised, but God certainly was not. Isaiah 46, 3-4, which is one of my absolute favorite verses, says, "Listen to me, you descendants of Jacob, you remnant of the people of Israel, you whom I have upheld since your birth, and have carried since you were born. Even to your old age and your gray hairs, I am he. I am he who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will sustain you, and I will rescue you." God was not surprised by anything that happened to us during that time. He wasn't surprised by the worrying reports we received from the doctors, and he certainly was not surprised when Bree surprised the doctors by being perfectly fine. Before we were even born, he knew that we were going to be in that place. He had a plan, and we could rest in the peace of knowing that he was in control. God is the one who has upheld us. He's upheld me, and he's upheld you since your birth. Nothing you're going through right now comes as a surprise to him. So think back to all those times when he has carried you in the past. As he was faithful to you then, he is faithful to you right now, and he will be faithful to you tomorrow. So that truth should bring great peace to your heart.